Greetings, I'm Dugout Man. Welcome to episode 16 of my Grassroots to Glory save with Sandbach United. That was a lot to get out then. But welcome back, and if you haven't seen my highlights package from the previous games, go and have a look and you will see just how things are transpiring in the league, which we can see the league table in front of us now. We currently sit in second place, but we could, in theory, be top of the league by a couple of points. With 6 games to go, it's going to be quite an interesting finish. If you haven't seen the highlights and you don't want to see the highlights, you can see that from the 4-0 victory against City of Liverpool that we last live conned, we've had a bit of a dip in form. There's a lot of draws and a lot of defeats. We went out of the North West Counties League Cup, and basically everything has gone a little bit pear-shaped. Fortunately, we're still hanging on in there in the league, but it's still going to be really tough for us to get it through. So we're actually going to see another City of Liverpool match today, Winsford and Everton, and we're going to sort of head straight into those games. Just get back to the league so we can just see exactly where everybody is that we've got to worry about. Skelmersdale and New Mills are trying to hang on to our coattails at the moment. Longridge are really the team that we haven't been able to shake properly. Even though we beat them in our poor run of form, we haven't been able to shake them because the other games haven't gone right for us. But once again, there's a lot of teams that have been struggling with us. I'm just so glad that I haven't got to play Rylands in all of this because they're my bogey team. So here we go. Let's get to the game. It's City of Liverpool, and I'll see you when we're ready to name the team. So this is a team that we're going to play today. As you can see, there's a few names missing from our first team, and that is basically because while we've been going through, and you would have seen it in the highlights package, while we've been going through the last week or so, basically our whole central defence has been poached from us. We've also lost other players in the team, and it's getting quite desperate, to be honest. Our first team has really shrunk, and we've got issues in replacing them. We are trying to find a few replacements. None of them were signed in time for today. So Chandler Bing gets a run out with Taylor, and we may find that we have to dig into our youth teams to see whether we can find some players to replace. But we'll see what happens with these experienced players that I've put bids in to sign. Some of them may come, some of them may not, but let's hope that we can get something over the line before the next match. But this is the team that we're going to go with today. Mewett, Davidson, Chandler Bing, Taylor and Brooks across the back. Hines, Reiki, Lucky Lou, Prudo, and then Guy and Smith up front. And we're going with the 4-4-2, even though it's not been doing great itself in the form. None of the other formations that we have been particularly swinging us into a winning position either way. So 4-4-2 is the way we're going to go for now, and if we have to adjust it in game, that's what we'll have to do. So we're against City Liverpool, playing their 4-5-1. Scullion is a player obviously that we've got to watch. McDonald scores goals, and Steer's a pretty good playmaker, so we've got to keep our eye on him, try and keep it tight on him. So we'll say give the fans something to cheer for, and that we've got faith in them to make the difference. And out we come. So we should be pretty used to this City of Liverpool team by now because we've played them plenty of times recently, especially on live comms. I've just realised we're on a slower. There we go. That's a little bit better, although I wouldn't want to drag out a chance like that really. So early doors, can we set our stall out to be attacking and completely blitz them like we did last time? Great tackle from Guy there to find Lucky Lou, but I'm not sure on that pass. Bell keeps it in, but he's giving it away to Dan Smith, who finds Guy, and Ben Guy gets his 16th goal of the season. I believe that Smith and Voltman have got 17 goals apiece, so Ben Guy's playing a little bit of catch-up on them, but that was terrible defending by Bell, and we were able to capitalise on it. A great cross from Smith, and Guy just had to tap it in. Got it in. Not 4 minutes on the clock, and we're 1-0 up. So the hope is that in this very first episode, the 3 games that we play will go our way, and then we won't be too nervous in the last episode. I'm going to be recording these one after the other, so they're going to come out pretty quick together on YouTube. So for those of you following along, I hope you enjoy them. We haven't had a video for quite a while, and then you're going to get 3 videos come along all at once, which will be good news for you, I'm sure. But yeah, we're in a desperate situation in the context of squad depth. We are beginning to bring some of our youngsters through to replace them, because simply until players are released, we haven't got the players to come to find on the scouting side of things. There's not many players who are getting any stars whatsoever, according to my scouts. So, which obviously is not always a given. But here we go at half time, 1-0 lead. To be honest, we should be beating these. So things are going well. I'm very happy with a solid defensive because I've not really created anything. You weren't bad out there, but you can still improve. And you weren't bad out there, and you can still improve. And off we go for the second half. We won't make any changes yet. I think tactically everything seemed okay so far. Davidson finds Reiki. Davidson again. Playing it around at the back. Chandler Bing does what Chandler Bing does best. Hoofs the ball forward. Hines has set Guy away. Can he break through? The keeper's off his line and does make the save. From the corner, Guy will take. Swings it in. We actually scored from a corner in our run of victories, defeats and draws, whatever it was, which was quite a novelty for us, but and so we're heading to the 60-minute mark. Do we need to make any changes, do we think? I think Lucky Lou's looking a bit susceptible today. He's on a 6.10. Magic Reiki's not. So how can we make them play a little bit better? I'm going to bring Stuart Chapman on. He's a young lad. He's still learning the ropes, but I think it'll be a good experience for him today. Let's hope that is not a decision that we end up ruining. Reiki finds Guy, sends Dan Smith away. If he can get the ball, which he can, the defender stumbles. Dan Smith one-on-one with the keeper, and Pearson makes another fantastic save. Can we do anything from this corner? Guy swings it in. It's headed away. Bailey Pruder. Reiki. Guy. Smith scores, but it's not going to count. He was offside. I thought he was before I got excited. Now, Stuart Chapman's a young lad who's just beginning to break through. I think he'll be a reasonable player for us. I was a little bit worried then, because those free kicks are where we've been conceding goals all season long. And I should at some point really try and find a way to stop it. But so McDonald, and we're beginning to look a little bit ragged at the moment. So we'll drop back to cautious, in the hope that we can just strengthen that defence a little bit. We may make a sub as well. So Chandler Bing, come off for Lewis Earl. And do we make one more? Bailey Prudo's looking a bit tired. So what I'll do is I'll bring Stephen Brogan on and put Brooks further forward. Brogan's a good corner taker and free kick taker as well. So if we get a set piece opportunity, Brogan will be there, I'm sure. But the time is ticking away, and we would take a 1-0. We're into stoppage time, and it ticks away. Not another highlight. That is fine by me. City of Liverpool actually had more shots than us, and we had more on target. But I don't think the stats reflect. Actually, we had more of the better chances. So I'm happy with that 1-0 win, and it just gives us that little bit of stability going into the next game. So we will tell the team, well done lads, a good win for us. So if we look at the teams that are chasing us, Longridge could only manage a draw. Skelmersdale I don't think played. Nope, can't see them. And Rylands, who are beginning to look a little bit like they could get involved, could only manage a draw as well. So that leaves us with a game in hand over Longridge and a point advantage over them. And Skelmersdale are a good 7 points behind us, having played the same amount of games. It is hopefully going to materialise into no more than a 2-horse race, because we don't want it to be too close at the end of the day. So I'm going to shoot over to the next game now, and I'll see you the other side of this cup. So welcome back, and this is a side that we're going to play against Winsford. You will recognise that there's a couple of new guys on the bench. We have managed to make a couple of signings. Well, the first one, Luke Jones, is actually coming straight in to play. He's a really experienced guy. If you look at his history, you know, he's been with a Premiership side. He never made any appearances there, but he's played at Sky Bet League 2 and then dropped down a league a little bit. But he's had a lot of playing experience, which is something that we haven't got a lot of in the team. So, but yeah, no, his stats are reasonable. I've come right off him, but certainly with his heading, his marking, and his tackling, they're fine. He is a slow player, but he is at the end of his career. But that's Luke Jones. Welcome to the club, and hopefully, you know, with his 12 leadership, he may even become one of the influential players within the team over this season and maybe into next season. And the other one is Sam Hurd, who's actually come in as a player coach. He's a reasonable looking player, but he's actually much more the coaching side of him. He's an improvement on the coach that we had to release to get him into play for us. But yeah, so they're two signings for us. I've also promoted young Mark Waters into the first team because he's scored 10 goals in 16 starts at the non-competitive level, so I thought it'd be good to get him around the players. I've done the same with Belkio Papa, who's not been very good in the goals, but he is certainly a player who potentially is going to get us some goals. And I'm just looking to see if there's anybody else who I brought up, because I had a good look through my youngsters. No, I don't think there's any more there that I specifically brought up to try and improve our squad depth. Prudo, Vincenti, Reiki and Hines will be the midfielders behind Guy and Voltman. I don't know why I started with them, but Davidson, Jones on his debut, Taylor, who we may well lose. He's one of two people who are unhappy and also have bids, which is never a good combination really. And Brooks, Mewett in goal, who is the other one who's unhappy and also has bids for him. So let's hope that we can hang on to them, especially for the rest of this season. Let's get into this game against our local rivals, Winsford, who only have to travel a few miles down the road to come and play us. So we're matched up man for man, 4-4-2. Let's see how this game goes. So after a team talk where they didn't really take any notice of me, off we go. And early doors, possession seems to be going in Winsford's favour. The shots are raining in, 2 apiece. And not many highlights though. Mensah with a corner. Headed over. Thank goodness for that. So that was a brief, but so far the only highlights. Now Gibson right back in their own, and it's a poor pass. Vincenti, who obviously has come in for Lucky Lou today. I don't know if I mentioned that or not. Hines. Ball crossed in, Prudo picks it at the back post, and a lovely goal that. Bailey Prudo had his trouble with injury this season, but that will do nicely. And 18 minutes into the game, we are 1-0 up. It was Hines with a superb cross. I thought at first that Voltman might get onto it, but it was Bailey Prudo's just to slot it home, and he did it well. He was a good player for us last season. He's had a disrupted season this season, but he really is a cracking player, Bailey Prudo, at this level. So the highlight starts with a Mewett goal kick, but we have lost it. But Vincenti has done brilliant to win that back, and it's three players running forward. Guy is one of them. He's threaded him through and he's slotted it in, and that is 2-0 just after the half-hour mark. I'm fairly happy with that. I haven't been totally idle in the times that I've not been recording more recently. You may have noticed that the badges are real badges now, and some of the players have even got faces, which is absolutely amazing, because it took me about 3 days to do the face packs. I've never been very good at getting these things to work, but even following all the myriad of YouTube videos that tell you how to do it, I still couldn't get it to work. But all of a sudden today it clicked. We've got the faces, we've got the badges, at least some of them anyway, and happy days as Vincenti puts in another beautiful ball to Guy, who's through again. This time he can't apply the finish. Another goal before half time would be lovely. Prudo with the corner. Nobody challenging. Jones looks like he's going to lose it, but it's the end of the highlight anyway. But it comes straight back with a throw in for us in a dangerous looking position. Vincenti, Brooks crosses it in, and it's Hines at the back post this time. So both of our wingers have got on the score sheet today. And we're only 37 minutes in and 3-0 up. This could be a very good scoreline by the end of it. So I'm feeling a lot better now. When we first came to this live com, I was really worried because we were, only just about hanging around at the top. But 2 wins and results going for us in other games as well has made me feel a lot better. And actually, I hadn't noticed until then, as Guy breaks through again. Good save by the keeper. I hadn't noticed that Skelmersdale had slipped up with a couple of games because they were actually looking the biggest dangers to us. I'm going to have to look at these corners that I've got because I've set up a couple of routines for them to do, but they don't seem to be working at the moment. Every cross seems to be going to where there's no player. Reiki puts the ball in. The defence thought that was going to be one of those comical own goals then, but actually Hogan brings it forward, and now I was about to say our defence are going to have to show us what they're made of, but they didn't. They just allowed him to shoot from 25 yards, and all of a sudden Winsford are in the game. Look at that, he picks it up on the halfway line, and everybody just backs off and backs off and backs off. And they might as well shoot because there's nobody challenging him. Disappointing goal to concede. But there we go, half time 3-1. We've got a 2-goal cushion. I think we can say that we're happy with it. I don't think we can complain too much. That goal, it was a poor thing really, and I'm actually going to look at the tactics just to see whether we've. So if we go more urgent with the pressing, and perhaps even just bring it to standard, just to see if that stops any more of those kind of attacks, and hopefully those little tweaks will make all the difference. Let's get on to the second half. It's one of the few games where we haven't got to worry about yellow cards so far. As Mensah swings in a corner, and this is not looking good at all. Oh, it has been disallowed. I'm not sure why. Oh, Brett Little apparently tripped another player, but that was a lucky escape, and certainly second half they're looking a little bit more threatening. Hogan picks up the ball. The cross comes in. Armstrong. And wow, this is getting a bit nerve-wracking now. Vincenti with a free kick. And it's fallen to Jones, who's headed it just over. That would have been a great introduction. I don't think he'll be stopping on the pitch much longer because I want to give Sam Hurd a little bit of a game as well. But at 3-1, surely we can't stuff it up from here. Famous last words, of course, they are. O'Hanlon to Mensah. So a lovely long ball for Armstrong there. Will he look to pull it back or not? No, he's crossing it in for Hogan. And Hurd, sorry, not Hurd. I don't know who it was. Somebody headed it away. Perhaps it was Hind I saw. So Gibson, the highlight is not finishing. Hines robbed Gibson of the ball and charges through. And Hines gets his second goal of the game, his 4th of the season. This is beginning to look rather good. And while it's 4-1, and that we will look at making a couple of changes. Vincenti's had a good game. Let's bring Stuart Chapman on for a bit of playing time. And Sam Hurd on for Luke Jones. And all of this without Dan Smith on the pitch. It's incredible. But Josh Hines has had a cracking game today. Not only has he scored 2 goals, he produced that cross which got Bailey Prudo's goal as well. So he is really looking like the player of the match for me. If anybody else gets it, it'll be a travesty. So Doyle has found his way in the back post, and somehow Mewett keeps it out. And the corner comes in, and again Mewett is there to collapse the ball, and he's kicked it away early, but that is the end of the highlight. So we're going to make a change. They've changed their formation, so we'll have to keep an eye on that. But actually, Max Voltman's not done a whole lot today, so Dan Smith can come in, and hopefully, we've had 3 strikers who have all been on form to a degree this season. As the ball is crossed in from the corner again, this time we did get a little bit closer to it, but Bailey Prudo has left us struggling now with a poor cross straight at the defender, and has sent Riddle charging through. Is somebody going to get a tackle in? They do get a tackle in, and Prudo has made up for his mistake, found Dan Smith, and now this ball has swung all the way to the other end. Ben Guy will pick that up and will slot it home. That is an assist for Dan Smith, and Ben Guy all of a sudden has overtaken Dan Smith in the top scorers charts, I think. 5-1 against the local rival as well. All of a sudden it feels like this might be our season. I don't want to speak too soon, we've still got 4 games to go. I just got to hope that Longridge slip up as well. We still have a game in hand over them, but I think at the moment it looks like they're winning. And Dan Smith has made it 6. This is getting into a cricket score territory, isn't it? So that's Dan Smith's 18th goal of the season. So the only one lagging behind now is Max Voltman. In fairness to him, now we've got nearly 60 goals between the 3 of them, so we've had a good season out of all of them. And there it is, 6-1. Bailey Prudo, 2 for Ben Guy, 2 for Josh Hines, and Dan Smith. 19 shots to Winsford's 15, so they actually, played a part in the game, but something went seriously wrong for them there. Josh Hines, as predicted, got the man of the match. He also got 2 assists. I must have missed one of them. Perhaps it was one of the corners or something. What can we say? I think we could be very happy with that. I'm only joking. There's not a lot else other than that. So we've got to be pleased with all aspects of the game. So I'm pleased with your final third. And yeah, that was just an excellent performance. Let's see where it leads us with the league. So the first thing I noticed is that Skelmersdale could only manage a draw away at Northwich. City of Liverpool lost again. They could get relegated. Longridge did win against Rylands. Rylands who usually help me. New Mills lost as well. So I think realistically we're looking at a 2-horse race now between Longridge and ourselves. And if we could win that game in hand as well, that would be really useful. Because a 4-point cushion with what would be then 3 games to go would be really great. But anyway, enough chat, enough talking. Let's hope we've still got the same squad at the end of the week when we come to the next game. But you won't have to worry about all that now. I'll see you at the other side of this cut. I come back a little bit earlier just to show you that another of our key players this season has decided to leave us and rob themselves of potentially a league winners medal. Andre Brooks has gone to play for Cleethorpes. He obviously prefers to be by the sea or something. But, he doesn't look an amazing player, but he has done okay for us this season. And, yeah, so he's signed for Cleethorpes. We wish him well, but wish he could have waited till the end of the season, really. It is a little bit ridiculous this season how many players we've had stolen from us at such a key time. I think we're okay position-wise, but, yeah, so there we go. Another player bites the dust. So welcome back, and Everton are our final opponents of the episode, and really looking forward to this game. Hope we can continue our winning form. The live comms have been fantastic for wins just lately, so hopefully they will continue again today. This is a team that we're going to play. Mewett, Davidson, Jones, Taylor and Brogan. So Brogan comes in for the departing Brooks. In midfield, we've got Heinz Reicke, Lucky Lou comes back in, and Prudo, Guy and Dan Smith leading the line up front. Of course, Guy and Heinz, Smith and Prudo all on the score sheet last time. Let's hope we can continue with that form today. So off we go. Home match against Everton. I would hope we'll be able to take the game to them. They don't seem to be featuring in the top part of the league, so no, they're down in 15th place. So hopefully this could be a pretty simple, maybe 2-0 victory. That would do me nicely. But we're half an hour in, and there's not been a single highlight. I think there's something that we need to have on here, if we can. No, it's not going to let me. So there we go, we've got the latest scores on. So we can just keep an eye on what's going on in the other games. As there's so much happening in our own game as we hit half time. And we look at the latest scores down here. Longridge are also struggling. They are realistically our only challenges at the moment that we've got to worry about. Unless we start losing games, and then Skelmersdale might possibly come back into it. But I think at the moment it's between us and Longridge. So we've been very disappointed so far. I'm far from pleased with what I just saw. We are the home side, so we will move it forward just one to positive. See if we can get something in. Dan Smith has picked up an injury. Max Voltman comes in to replace him. And if I remember correctly, Luke Jones will come off for Sam Hurd. He was a little bit tired. He's probably not played many games because he's been without a club for some time, and we come in and take him, and hopefully, you know, we're going to have to demand more here because there's not a lot happening again. Both teams seem to be counting themselves out. There's a lot of bookings on there. One team could lose this through going down to 10 men. Time is ticking away and nothing is happening. Lucky Lou for Vicente. You know, things are getting a little bit serious now. 15 minutes to go. And we're behind. Would you believe it? I just can't believe it. I think it's gone straight in from the free kick as well. We are so poor at defending these free kicks. Look at how the keeper just let it go. Now, I'm not one to have a rant on Football Manager, but you know, we can't go making mistakes like that when we're trying to get promoted. That is absolutely ridiculous. And now they've got a penalty as well. Just what is the point? You'll have to excuse me raging a little bit, but it's so frustrating when we've been hammering teams left, right and centre to have this shower going on in front of us is unbelievable. And we have about 3 minutes to rescue this, so it's not going to happen really, is it? And that does leave us with a little bit to worry about. Just out of interest, didn't get to see it. Looking at the league table here, it looks like Longridge won, but that does leave us in a little bit of a dilemma for the next game if that is the case. Absolutely pathetic performance in the end. There were no highlights in our favour whatsoever, so there's got to be an aggressive "you were not good enough today," and we'll leave it at that. So Longridge managed to find 2 second half goals, and we managed to blow 2 second half goals. And that is why we do not sit at the top of the table anymore. We do have a game in hand. Skelmersdale are realistically out of reach of us. So yeah, it's a 2-horse race, which we're looking like we're making sure that Longridge still have a chance. Disappointing result at the end. As you can tell, I'm quite annoyed with the way that we capitulated in that game, but you know, win our game in hand would still be top. We've got 3 games to go, and I hope you're looking forward to coming back to see whether we manage to get that promotion with Sandbach United, or whether this does ultimately become the last season with Sandbach United, or what happens. I don't know. It's so in the balance at the moment. It's quite nerve-wracking, but I hope you like what you see. Like and subscribe, leave a comment. It'd be great to hear from you. I'm Dugout Man, and I'll see you soon.